right now we have the great pleasure of welcoming Piero Incisa della Rocchetta live from Bulgari, Italy. How are you doing, Piero?
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. You're at Sesakaya right now?
Yes, I'm in the family estate and catching the almost like an Indian summer. So it's kind of amazing. Great weather.
Well, I really appreciate you making time for us. I know you're got some amazing things happening, so let's get right into it and talk about this incredible project, this beautiful brand that you've created in Patagonia, Argentina. How did you decide Patagonia was where you wanted to go?
But I think that it was almost a fluke. I decided earlier on that I wanted to venture on my own and establish my own domain. I've always had a fondness for Pinot, so I did a crush in Oregon at DDO. The Drouin were very gracious to have me. And after attending the Wine Spectator in 2001 on behalf of my family vineyard, I drank wine blind at dinner that night, which came from this valley in Rio Negro, Argentina. And we all felt that the wine was from Burgundy. In reality, when they uncovered the bottle, the wine was from Argentina. The wine per se was not incredible, but it had some very interesting characteristics that were both varietal and surprising. So being young and maybe not particularly smart, I hopped on a plane without speaking the language nor know exactly where I was going. And I landed in this valley in Rio Negro, which it's astounding because from the air, nothing gives the impression that this is a wine region for Pinot because you're more of in a desert than anything else. And so it turns out that these families of Pinot Noir adapted itself to the microclimate. You can see it on the slide right now, and they were thriving. And we managed to, after 20 years of hard work and a very committed team, we brought it back to life. And now we feel very privileged to have this.
Yeah, the genetic material being so aged and never ever has it been anything but sustainable or organic. It's always been farmed that way, right?
It's a long conversation. I know we're pressed for time, but basically we are in a microclimate that is absolutely outstanding and astounding, in the sense that we're used in Europe in dealing with a lot of disease and pests, such as Pronospora, Philospora, Tignola, or Oidium. Once you get to this valley, the humidity hovers between, let's say, 25% to 40%. So there is no pest, there is no disease. There is no Philospora, there is no Pronospora, there is no Oidium. And so we are living in a place that is completely free of any diseases that a vineyard can catch. So, of course, the vineyards were already organic because they were semi-abandoned. And the people that farmed them did not have enough resources to treat them chemically. And we have a great team that really is devoting their life to, taking care of this vineyard. So we're very privileged.
Mm. And you have some folks that would they be indigenous folks helping you on the property?
Yeah, so Chacra is a little bit, we've been remote working since inception because when I started the vineyard, I also had to sell the wine. And I spend more or less 6 to 7 months a year in the estate. And there is a great team that is composed by Italians, but also Argentines and also some Peruvians. So it's really more than one culture, more than one nationality coming together. But it works great. We have the same goal. That's our shared interest. So we're very privileged that way.
That's beautiful. Is it a good place for people to put on their calendar to visit?
But it depends what kind of a person you are. If you are a person that is fine to spend some alone time in a very quiet place without restaurants or nightclubs or high-end hotels, yes. Chacra is beautiful, is uncontaminated. It's not just a winery, it's a farm. We don't believe in monoculture, so we do all sorts of cultivation to increase, enhance, and preserve our biodiversity. So if you're okay then being alone and read a book, maybe play some tennis and have a lot of food and drink a lot of wine, absolutely yes.
That doesn't sound too bad to me. Yeah. So again, always been and always have been organic, biodynamic, and you've had some amazing progress. So you bought the location in what, around 2002, 2003?
Yeah, we bought a location. I mean, I acquired without payment on a handshake in 2002. This was a very old gentleman, Italian gentleman from northern Italy, and I purchased the vineyard 1.5 years after the handshake. So Chacra is a little bit like a research and development winery. We dedicate a large portion of our resources and time to completely experiment. We're making wines that are free of chemicals and free of sulfur. Most of the time we don't filter the wines. So when you're making this wine in this fashion, the wine are practically naked. And therefore we have to be much more precise, much more quick. We have to be extremely clean. So we have to be precise, because I don't like breath, I don't like volatility, I don't like mouths, I don't like extreme reduction in the reds. And this takes an obsessive kind of approach to farming. Once your farming job is done, you just have to try not to mess it up in the vineyard. So there is a sort of eclat, of an electricity to these wines. I always say that we like to make red wines that taste a little bit more like white wines, in the sense that I like red wines that are low in alcohol, that are fresh, they have a strong acidity or energy, however we want to describe that. And most and foremost, they're also food friendly and can be drank like glue wine. So something that truly gives you a great pleasure, as opposed to having wine that are very concentrated or extracted, or they have a high alcohol component. And I hope that we are succeeding in that. You know, nothing is added to our wine, is spontaneous fermentation with indigenous yeast, and then 3 weeks of maceration, and here they are.
Well, we appreciate your time here, and but it's always fascinating to connect with you. You're having some tremendous success. Uh, Comments like wine of the year, 100-point scores. I
Yes,
saw
yes,
you carry a couple of the white wines, which you have a
yes,
partner,
yes,
Jean-Marc Rouleau,
yes.
which is tremendous. And you're making the Pinot Noirs, and you've got a number of Pinot Noirs as well, right, Piero?
Yeah, so our range starts with Barda, which means the ridge. It's a fantastic wine, in my opinion, because the average vineyard that produces the grapes for Barda is 25 years old. As you know, most of the cru are made from vineyards that are 20 plus years old. So to have for the lack of a better word, an entry-level wine from vineyards that are so old, that is organic and biodynamic, and all vineyards are ungrafted, it's a luxury. I don't know many other people that have this genetic material. And so I think we are providing a wine that is very fresh, very clean. It's meant to be drank young, and it's got a lot of very clean fruit, and is also very floral. Then we have some single vineyard wines, of which the vineyards were planted in 1955 and in 1932. Besides the age of the vineyard, they also have different mineral composition that determine, of course, the characteristics of the wine. We treat all grapes and all wines the same way. We ferment everything the same way. We make wine with full bunches, with no chemical interventions, no tartaric acid, no added tannins, absolutely nothing. Of course, then you spoke about the whites. It's a very exciting, at the same time humbling process for us. And a little bit of a fun fact this year, for the second time in the history of Chacra, the blend for the white wines was made by Jean-Marc, Gabriele, and myself here in Bulgaria. So a Frenchman comes to Italy, and with two Italian men, they're making the blend of a Chardonnay that is made in Patagonia. And so it's kind of like a I don't know, like a sign of times, you know?
Beautiful. Great
Yeah.
chemistry, great energy, as you say, and I really appreciate your time. Please
Thank you.
thank your son for bringing energy to our Zoom.
So thank you for everyone.
Thank
And
you for that. Thank you for that, and we all appreciate your effort. And we hope
it's a
that
teamwork. Remember, I'm just one small part of the team. And I mean that.
you're putting together a beautiful team and a beautiful message. So we'll celebrate that. And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much. I hope to see you soon.
You too, Piero. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
See you.